What's going on, everybody? RWT family, SMR podcast listeners. Just randomly zoomed in camera for some fucking reason. I'm live currently right now on the RWT Facebook page, ready to review some AEW Revolution. Because damn, it was a good show. I mean, seriously, can we be frank for a second here? This fucking show was great, man. Like, I mean, if you want to say it's, compared from the super letdown on Thursday with the fucking crowning of Bill Goldberg and the killing of the Fiend and a shit cage match between Corbin. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that company. We're here to talk about AEW. And like I said, AEW put on a hell of a show. Even the pre-show match, it wasn't like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but it was still a really good opening match. So I really don't want to waste a whole lot of time. I want to get into it. So the opening match, or the pre-show match that they had, was the Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Garrison against SCU. And pretty much the whole point of this match was, SCU had originally told, like, Frankie Kazarian, hey, bro, stay in the back. They just seemed that you get super easily distracted with the Dark Order right there. So, stay in the back. They're doing this match, and then we get the Exalted One who's supposed to, come out, and they legit, the Dark Order stops wrestling. They turn, they, want to bow or whatever the fuck, and, all hail the Dark Order and the fucking Exalted One. Anyway, the Exalted One turns out to be Christopher Daniels, who's not an actual Exalted One. He's in his SCU gear. He comes out, and anyway, he helps get the upper hand, even though SCU ends up losing in the end. So it was a kind of like whatever thing. I guess you can say that they used this to try to squash the idea of Christopher Daniels being the leader of the Dark Order. I'm still really hoping it's Kenny, because it would just be such a curveball. So I don't have questions like I normally do on these ones. I normally like to put questions and shit up there, but truth be told, it like takes up my whole fucking screen, and it's such a big gigantic pain in the ass. I've decided just to leave it alone. But if you guys got questions for me, feel free to throw them in there, and I'll shoot it out. But keep going here. So the actual opener was Jake Hager making his AEW debut against Dustin Rhodes. And I had wrote at the time that this was, that Hager looked just like a guy named Swagger. And in my opinion, he kind of did. He didn't really do anything different that didn't remind me of Jack Swagger. I mean, maybe call me biased or whatever, but I give a little bit more towards Dustin in this one. He kind of helped carry it a little more. He definitely did everything he had to do to try to get that Canadian Destroyer off. It started off going sideways, but somehow ended up just fine. But, I mean, it was a fine match. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't, overjoyed with it. I thought it was a match, and I thought it was fun. You know what I mean? It had the, how do I want to put this? It had the feel that you want to have of like Jake Hager like making his debut. It's like, oh, it's about time you're finally making your goddamn debut. So I'm gonna try to invite some people in here. Mainly that guy. So, but like I said, all in all, it was a good match, and it looked like maybe, Dustin was going to get the win, but it didn't end up working that way. There was an angle lock attempt, which didn't look too bad. Nobody freaked out over it, but Hager won with a standing arm triangle. Very MMA. Now, the thing is, I don't know very many guys that win with standing arm triangles, let alone regular arm triangles, but hey, it's an arm triangle. Like, who in fucking MMA, who in pro wrestling is using a fucking arm triangle? You know what I mean? It's innovative. It's new. It's fresh. He needs something. I don't know what, but he needs something. Anyway, that was my man Paul hit me back. I'll ignore him as my phone goes off in the background of this thing. But I enjoyed that match. Match went just shy of 15 minutes. Now, Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara only went 5, but it was 5 minutes of awesome. Okay? Everybody's falling in love with Darby Allin, and if you're not liking at least Sammy Guevara, or at least liking the fact that you want to hate him, then I don't know what to tell you, because this guy is beyond or over charismatic. He's over the top in the ring. He legit goes out there and does what he wants because he wants to, and yeah, it doesn't look like the greatest thing ever, but he does the moves, you know what I mean? I've heard people call him a budget Ricochet, which I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. But I really enjoy watching Sammy, and especially in this match, these guys went out there and killed it. They beat the shit out of each other for a good 5-6 minutes on the outside of the ring prior to the bell even ringing. There was Sammy had thrown the fucking skateboard. He threw the fucking skateboard at Darby at one point, and I just freaked, thinking, what if one of those trucks whacked him in the back of the head? You know what I mean? It could be very dangerous, to say the fucking least. Let's see here. I was in the ring with him. No, I wasn't. The match, I mean, Sammy sets up Darby on the outside. They have this table. Again, this is all prior to the match. And Sammy goes up and he ends up hitting the 630 off the table. He ends up fucking up his lower back at that time, but Darby hits his when the match actually gets started, Sammy goes for a giant knee to kill Darby because Darby's just dead and he can't really stand up, and they started the fucking match anyway. But it was something how can I put it? He Sammy goes for the kill right off the bat. He tries to go for the big knee. It doesn't work out, but Darby comes right back when he hits his stunner. I forget how it is, the flip over stunner, whatever. When he hits his stunner, Sammy sells it like he was going to take the stunner from The Rock, and it was fucking great. And then he hits a coffin drop damn near halfway across the ring for the win. The match only went about 5 minutes, but in all reality, they had about 12 minutes out there, including all the craziness on the outside. So, you know what? I'm never doing this again, but on live video, I'm going to go get some water. Yeah, that happened. What are you going to do about it? Nobody's watching me right now, which is a terrible thing. You should all be watching. If not, I know you'll all be listening, and I appreciate that. So, I'm definitely going to cut out that long pause, so don't worry about what just happened. But let's continue onward here. Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, the tag team champions, taking on the Young Bucks. Now, this match right here, whoo boy. There was, show I'm trying to think of. There was a show that had passed just recently where it was dude, that was a match of the year. I think it was a takeover. Yeah, it was a takeover. I'm trying to think of what match. Trying to think of the match. I can't think of the match, the current moment. But it was definitely a match of the year candidate. Apparently not, if I can't remember it. But now I'm watching this match, and I mean, I knew it was going to be good. But when matches are going to be good, beat your expectations, it kind of blows you away. But when they fucking blow your expectations up, it is a completely other topic. I cannot say enough about this tag team match. These guys went balls to the fucking wall. Absolutely in goddamn sane. Kenny Omega, ignore that. So Kenny Omega starts out with Nick Jackson, and I'm expecting the world out of these guys. And as much as like they wanted to give us the world, they knew that, you know, the rest of the match had to happen. So like they ended up doing some stuff and then they turn around and like fist bump. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. But like the whole thing is like Matt and Hangman are having that problem. Now I say Hangman and I'm going to stop because I love the way JR says it. The Hangman. If you get it, if you understand it, the Hangman is just a very easy way of saying like the executioner. He was the dude in the old westerns that when, you know, you were committed a felony or whatever, and it was, you know, punishable by death, you saw the executioner, aka the Hangman. The Hangman. You get what I'm driving at here, folks. Anyway. So, I mean, I love this match. Like I said, I cannot say enough about it. They went just over 30 minutes, and it didn't feel 30 minutes. I mean, it felt like it went on for some time, but it did not feel like a 30-minute match would, I guess, in my opinion. The amount of shit these guys did, I can't even fathom to put together. Hangman is just crazy with the moonsaults. I know he hit a senton to the outside, legit, like landing his nutsack on the top of Nick Jackson's head. There was the 3, I forget what kind of suplexes Matt Jackson does, but he does 3 of them to Hangman on the fucking ramp, mind you. Brutal. There's like, oh, so Kenny's going for the fucking his Terminator spot, and he just gets fucking super kicked right in the jaw when he's going for it. Bananas. Oh God, I can't even think. Like, when I tell people like this is one of these matches you should legitimately go out of your way and watch, like, I know I say this all the time. It's going to be on the t-shirt, just like Howie Muir would say, like, oh, you're not wrong. That would used to be like my saying all the time. And sometimes I still bring it back. But in all reality, like, this match was beyond great. Like, this was a easy match of the year candidate. And if I could rate it right now, it would easily get 5 stars. Hands down. I don't think it's like a 5-pluser. I think if you really wanted to be a fucking prick and I listen to the motherfucker all the time, but if you want to be a Dave Meltzer kind of prick guy, you're probably going to give it like a 4.5. And I think that's just like, this is a guaranteed fiber. Okay? It's a guaranteed fiber. But the story of the match was just the partners. The partners were always there. They were there at the right time, the right seconds. Even when Hangman was laid down, he ended up making a save here and there. But when he got the hot tag, it was over. Like, he came in, he starts laying house. He actually hits the fucking one-wing angel at one time, which Matt ends up kicking out of. Then he ends up hitting Nick with the buckshot layered on Matt with the buckshot layered on the outside, turns around, hits Nick on the inside. And that's what brings them to the victory and ends up having them retain the titles. At the end of the whole thing, like, there's a standoff. You're expecting them to have a handshake. I'm expecting them to have a handshake. I want them to have a handshake. I want this to be fucking squashed. But something that I noticed, and now maybe this is just me that noticed this, but in the entire time, like, Matt is immediately going straight for Kenny. He's barely even bothering going towards the direction of the Hangman to even shake his fucking hand, let alone like tell him congratulations or anything else. Like, to even go over there to shake the man's hand first, he fucking beelines it to Kenny. And then when Kenny's damn near next to them, then he's like, oh, hey, man, you too, bro. So I understand why Hangman's upset. Like, hey, look, dude, you have a history with Kenny like that. You don't really have a history like that with me. You're the one that fucking said that I was a jobber that got brought in there and you guys made me. After this, after I beat you, come shake my motherfucking hand first. Don't go chasing Kenny, your best friend. Come shake my fucking hand. Show me that you're man enough to say that. You know what, Hangman? You beat me. And it didn't happen. So, I'm really hoping for like a Matt Jackson Hangman feud. And I think we're going to get it. I think it's definitely a possibility. So, Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander. What to say about Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander? It wasn't the worst AEW women's match. It wasn't the best AEW's women's match. I like Chris Statlander. I do. I really do. I feel like everything she does is legit slowed down because she's so green. She's like that student that was like, you walked into class one day and she's going faster than all the other first day guys. And it looks good. And you're like, hey, she could be big. And then you just throw her out there right then and there. And it's like, this half speed is pretty much all she could do. Granted, she's got some like cool stuff. She had this whole thing where she was tied up in the ropes and then she did like a handstand out. And I'm like, that was whatever. But she ended up losing to Nyla. And I think they're really going to get behind Nyla. I don't see anything really changing when that whole, aspect of it all comes about. Nyla's gonna stay. If she stayed the champion, she's probably gonna be the champion for quite some time. I don't see her losing anytime soon, especially losing that belt. I mean, because if you really think about it, who in that division is worth it? Who in that division is actually gonna jump in and try to take her down? Like it's a lot easier said than done than to just try to beat her. I mean, like it's like her biggest challenger to date, and I don't mean it just by size necessarily, but I do at the same time, was Chris Statlander, and she fell short. Now I'm thinking maybe Hikaru Shida could be next. They do have something in her. I feel like that's someone everybody can get behind. She does have really good matches. She's not exactly Riho. Some people, Riho rubbed me the wrong way, but in all reality, like when it came down to her in-ring work, I can't say anything about it. It was superb. No, it was good. It was really good. It was probably the best on that roster. Maybe ish. She was one of the better ones on the roster. Let's just go with that. But unfortunately, it's not really saying a whole lot. But yeah, so Nyla Rose stays your champ. Like I said, my next guess is Hikaru Shida. There is no more Awesome Kong. She's out doing Glow. So it is what it is. So then we get the long-awaited grudge match fight, if you will, between Cody and MJF. And you know what, this match had a lot of drama. It had you on your feet. Even if you're at home, you're on the edge of your seat. You refused to get up, I'm sure. So there was probably grown men sitting there doing the good old pee-pee dance because I can't miss a single second of this fucking thing. And I can't blame them because I was one of them. I could not miss a single second of this, to the point where I was told to go to the store. And I was like, you know what? I'll watch it on the way. And that's exactly what I did. I put it on my phone. As dangerous as that is, as illegal as that probably is, I couldn't miss a second of this. And now I wasn't expecting a technical masterpiece. I wasn't expecting every cool move this side of Mississippi. I was expecting them to have a old school grudge match. And to that degree, they did. It went very back and forth. MJF's playing the coward heel, but Cody unloaded at first all over him. He had the advantage from the jump. I don't know how in the world MJF got busted open, but when he got busted open, the man bled like a stuffed pig, if I could say so lightly. And they're battling around and they're fighting all over the place, and MJF is just gushing blood. And this match is really good so far. And then MJF tries to whip Cody with the belt, with his weight belt. And the ref's like, no, dude. Do you want to get fucking DQ'd? I'll fucking DQ you. I don't give a shit. And so he takes the belt away. Well, Cody ends up getting hold of the belt, and he just whips the shit one good time out of MJF, and then the ref turns around and is like, hey, you can't do that. Give me the belt. And he's like, come on, man, one more time. And the crowd goes, one more time. And the ref's like, all right. And he turns around and just a fucking, like, one that mimicked the one that Wardlow gave him. Like, it shook the fucking arena. It's exactly how loud this fucking weight belt shot was. It was just absolutely insane. But he hits him, and MJF he's fucking crying. He's begging Cody, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. He's crying his ass off. And as he's like crying, Cody's just like, I don't give a shit. And they both get a low blow spot. And it looks like Cody's going to win. He ends up hitting the crossroads. Somehow MJF gets out of it. But then I thought it was brass knucks. I really did. There was a spot on the outside where like Arn gets kicked and I freaked. I'm like, no, not Arn. But I watched the whole thing, and even though Excalibur and shit said that he got kicked in the neck and the face, they got kicked in the chest very lightly, which thank God. Trav, what's going down, brother man? I know it's late as shit out there. I hope you enjoyed the show. Mike, if I saw you, didn't see you, what's happening? I hope you enjoyed the show as well. But I was bringing up the whole brass knucks thing in his trunks, and it turned out not to be brass knucks. As a matter of fact, it actually turned out to be the diamond fucking ring, which he then pulls out and slugs Cody with. And that is what ends the match, and legit took the fucking air out of the arena. That is a goddamn shoot. It took the motherfucking air out of the arena. The place went quiet. There were shocked faces around the world. I was one of them. The fucking crowd looked like The Undertaker had lost all over again. They were like, what? Half of it was sad. The other half was disbelief. Well, let me reframe. A third of it was sad. A third of it was disbelief. And a third of it was just being pissed. Quarter, half. Half the people were pissed off. The other people were the other two emotions. All in all, this gained emotion. Apparently this feud's not over. They're definitely going to need to do like a no DQ match and like maybe an unsanctioned match. Something along that sort. I know War Games is coming up. They want to do a War Games thing. They're calling it Blood and Guts. I wonder if that's going to play into this. I don't think it really necessarily should. I want it to be like their feud commences with a mid-card title. You know what I mean? That's something I think could work out awesome. But now we got to talk about something that just fucking erupted the crowd. I thought this was like a dead match. I was like, you're going to put Pac versus Orange Cassidy right after this MJF fucking Cody match. And I'm thinking it's the death spot. I'm thinking it's one of those spots you just had the overall great match, and then they're going to give you a pisser break, and then you're going to go to the main event. Well, guess what? This is in WWE. So we get Pac versus Orange Cassidy, and this was a combination of just awesome and funny. And Pac is a bastard, and he's a real wrestler. For those who like to say he's a shooter, he goes in there and he beats your ass for real. He kicks you real hard. He'll squash you when he does the Black Arrow. He's a real prick. He's a real bastard. So they're having this match, and like it starts out where Orange is trying to put his hands in his pocket. He's doing the whole do the whole thing in his pocket. I love that spot. And Pac's like, no, dude, I'm not having that shit. You keep your hands out of your motherfucking pockets. You understand me? And they do some shit for a little bit, and Pac's on the offensive, and then eventually they end up having like the lazy kick fucking strike exchange. And I'm thinking, for every lazy kick, like, Pac is just going to wreck him. He's like, nope. They go back and forth. He's like, lazy shit, lazy shit, lazy shit, lazy shit, lazy shit, lazy shit. And I'm fucking dying. It's the greatest shit ever. The crowd is going bananas. Absolutely fucking bananas. And then eventually, like, Pac's like, all right, I'm enough of this shit. And he just slugs the fuck out of him. Well, this wakes him up, and he ends up going on this fucking spree. He's doing all kinds of moves. Orange Cassidy is just... He wakes up. He's actually trying, as they say. And this match is going on and on and on, and he's pretty beat down. And Pac wants to go for the Falcon Arrow, or excuse me, the Black Arrow. And Orange just keeps rolling away. So, nope, you're not going to give me this time. I'll roll this side of the ring. All right, motherfucker, get your ass over here. Okay, no, I'm going to roll that way. It's the fucking best. And I had wrote it one time while my man Harold was on Facebook Live actually streaming the show for people who couldn't afford it, and we appreciate Harold for doing that. He also likes to give his own commentary. Let's keep it funky. I had mentioned that I guess the ring was unstable because this Orange is just rolling all over the place. I love that line. Anyway, he ended up losing in the Brutalizer, but absolute fun match between Orange Cassidy and Pac. Something that I did not think was going to be good, let alone as entertaining as it was. So I did put up a 5-match question of match of the night. It included pretty much every match that wasn't the opener, the pre-show, and the women's match. Which match was match of the night. So make sure you hit that after you listen to this, after you're done watching me, whatever is going down. So the main was, of course, Jon Moxley against Chris Jericho, AEW World Championship match. Santana and Ortiz are the only two to come out with Chris Jericho as this whole thing starts. And I wrote it on the board, or in the group, I should say, and I'll say it right here, right now. This was not a technical masterpiece, just like how I said about the one of the other previous matches. But this match had more than enough storytelling. It had whole lots of fucking drama. There was a spot in the match where Moxley gets slammed in the post and gets legit busted open. Like, it just randomly, like, goosed up, and he's like, is it gonna pop? Is it gonna pop? Is it gonna, like, it goosed pretty bad. And I didn't think it was bleeding at first, but then I guess it was, like, slowly opening or something like that. And then all of a sudden, it just started to fucking gush blood. And then, to make matters worse, the eye patch would kept catching it, and it would randomly, like, pull blood, or it would just sit wrong, and then he'd lift it, and then it was just so bad. But I mean, it was a fucking killer match. I gotta talk about the before the whole spot where Moxley gets opened up. Jericho and them are on the outside, and this fucking dude just power bombs him over the timekeeper's table. And his fucking head bounces off the goddamn bell. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Just fucking gnarly. But they're battling all over the place, and they continue. Moxley's continuing to show off the stuff that he learned from Randy Couture. You know, how to get out of the walls, this catch wrestling, shoot maneuver, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, how to ankle pick him and go for a heel hook, and how to set up other ways for the paradigm shift. And it obviously all showed. His technique showed. Everything about it showed off. It didn't necessarily work out, like, perfectly, but it flowed. The point is it fucking flowed. And I really enjoyed the entire match. The match as a whole. It definitely kept you on your feet. It looked like Jericho could have easily had won it, but lucky for us, Moxie's able to hit the paradigm shift again, the big one this time. Again, while his fucking eye is just gushing a motherfucker. And he picks up the win. We get a new fucking AEW World Champion. I knew this was going to happen either tonight ordered in Vegas, and I'm glad it happened tonight. Now, my question is who is next in line? Does that mean it's Kenny? Is Orange Cassidy the man? I'm just kidding. It's like Kenny. Is MJF in line? Are they going to change this fucking rule? And is it going to be Cody? What does Moxley win mean for the U.S. Championship, the IWGP U.S. title? We already knew that Moxley that Jericho being world champion meant he wasn't going to lose, when he did Wrestle Kingdom. And that's what happened. So what does this mean for New Japan now that fucking Moxley is AEW world champion? Is this guy going to never lose the U.S. title? I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter considering they canceled a bunch of the shows due to this fucking coronavirus and all this other shit. But, I mean, that's my biggest question. My other biggest question is like I said, is who is in line for the AEW championship? Does Lance Archer coming in go right towards him? You took my U.S. title, now I'm taking your AEW title. Bah! Like, I don't know. That'd be kind of fucking cool. Does, like I said, is MJF next in line? What does Kenny's fucking record look like? Like, I don't really know. And I think that's the thing that makes it so intriguing. It's what makes me want to tune in on Wednesday to find out what's really going on. I want to hear how Chris Jericho reacts, considering the fact that every time he's almost lost, he's thrown a fucking fit. And so I want to see how he reacts when he actually finally fucking loses. Harold, what's happening, bro? If you're still watching, man, what did you think tonight real quick? And what was your match of the night? And if it's not the tag team match, we got a problem. I'm totally kidding. But like I said, this was a fucking great show. Like, in all reality, I think we take these pay-per-views a little lightly because we get them once a month from WWE. You spend $10 a month, you're just like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna get a pay-per-view. And our their average, not our average, their average is fuck at best like a 2-star show. I mean, like, there's going to be, like, one pretty good match and one, like, all right match. And then it's... The point I'm getting at is like, 50% of the time, we're going to get a pretty okay WWE pay-per-view. But it looks like 100% of the time, we're going to get a fucking great AEW pay-per-view. It's well worth this $50. Well worth the $50. Even the man Harold agrees with me that tag team title match was fucking something else. Now, my question to you, bro, was it a match of the year candidate? Considering all the shit we've seen. My man Harold says, really good show, although I feel there was some opportunities they could have jumped on and they didn't. Yes, Mr. Arn Turn, that's not gonna happen yet. Do you understand? I don't want Arn to turn. I want Arn to just be coach. I love Coach Arn. Get him a whistle. Goddamn whistle. I'm loving the polo shirts. Do you think MJF and Cody is going to be like a no sanction match, unsanctioned? You think that's where they're going next, or is they going to do fucking war games 1-on-1? Which, you know what, that wouldn't be fucking crazy, but it wouldn't necessarily be war games. It'd just be fucking in a gigantic fucking cage. So, I mean, like I said, I love this show. It was an obvious, huge 2 thumbs up kind of show. 0 disappointments. Absolutely 0. I do not want an Arn turn. I just thought they were hinting at that. And in some degree, they have been more so than ever. It feels like he may randomly end up as MJF's coach. You know what I mean? Because he had hinted the whole slam the cage in his face, and then, unfortunately he got kicked in this one. So it's something they're most definitely teasing. I thought about Lance Archer doing that too, and like I had actually just said that, like, I think right before you had came on, is like Lance Archer should have showed up and be like, you took my U.S. belt, now I'm taking that. But at the same time, it's like, aren't there guys that have already been busting their butts deserve a shot beforehand? But at the same time, like, you're talking about making a star. Might as well, right? You can at least throw him in the mix. Maybe he could be in that War Games match. But anyway, I love that show. This is my review on it. I mean, I didn't go super in depth. It's just, you got to go watch it. I could talk about it for days until I run out of water because I'm so fucking cottonmouth. But go spend $50, man. You know, have your friend who already bought it go borrow his fucking thing so you can watch it. Probably half of it's on YouTube right now. I know the whole tag team match is already on fucking YouTube. So check that shit out. Harold, brother man, go get some rest. I'm about to go get some rest. You guys know the drill. Make sure you're following us on all platforms of social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at SMRPodNet. Same thing, anchor.fm/SMRPodNet. Back on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/SmartMarkRadio. Darby versus Allen was your second favorite. It was my second favorite as no, you know what? It was my third. I really liked Cody MJF. It was my third. I do, however, think that Sammy Guevara is a fucking star. And so is Hangman Page. Okay? Hangman Page was made a bigger star tonight. Sammy Guevara made a huge star also. Anyway, you know the guys, you know the drill. All platforms of social media. This is going to drop probably first thing in the morning, except for the Herald and everybody else that watched it live. And then, of course, you're going to get to the Retro Show on Monday. You're going to get a brand new episode of Mowing the Dead Men on Tuesday, which is actually going to tie in because we're going to be reviewing the Go Home Show, last week's episode of AEW and NXT, leading into this week's episode, or this upcoming week's episode of NXT AEW. That way, it's kind of like the refresher for you guys. So that's that. And then very quickly, public announcement. We're no longer covering the XFL. It got to the point where our plate was too full. And even for two big guys like us, we had to tap out on that one. So we apologize for anybody that was getting excited about the Extreme show. Maybe we'll cover the championship game or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I appreciate you all watching. I appreciate you guys listening. Go spend some money and watch AEW Revolution. Catch you all around the bend, boys and girls. Peace out, skis. SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening.